This is my download folder. I haven't touched this folder properly in, let's say, 18 months. Quite a number of documents are there, some tax documents, some AI generated PDFs, invoices, random images. You can just imagine different things are there. Every business owner I know has a folder that just looks like this. Maybe it's download, maybe it's desktop, maybe it's a drive folder called stuff that has over 2,000 things in it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to point Claude Cowork at that folder and I'm going to let it organize the entire thing. And I'm just going to be talking about what exactly is happening. I haven't pre-cleaned it, but we're just going to be doing it together. Let's go. Hi, I'm Abby, your AI automation specialist that helps your business generate more revenue while improving efficiency. Let's go. The reason this folder is a nightmare isn't laziness, is that organizing files is a chore that blocks the actual work. You download a document, you open it, you read it, you sign it. Now you have to decide where it lives. Which folder? Does that folder even exist? Should it be by client or by month? You don't know. So you just leave it in downloads. Oh, I'll sort it out later. But that later never happens. Multiply that by every file that you have downloaded for the last 2 years. Most people's fix is Notion or having a fresh Google Drive structure. They spend a Saturday building a beautiful system. They use it for 2 weeks, they give up because the system needs maintenance and you've got a business to run. So what I'm about to show you isn't a new system. It's just offloading that maintenance to Claude. You teach it your rules once, it does the sorting forever. Quick on Cowork if you haven't used it. Claude Cowork is a desktop agent in Claude that reads and writes files on your computer. It can move things, it can create folders, it can rename files, it can delete things with permission. It can also remember your preferences across sessions, especially if you've taught it. So once you teach it your filing system, it sticks. Browser Claude is a chatbot. Cowork is your coworker that can actually touch your stuff. So for this demo, I'm just going to point Cowork to that download folder. That's all it can see. That's all it can change. So now it's time to audit the mess. I'm going to give Claude a prompt to audit and group my download folder. So let's see what it does with that. So I said, audit my download folder. Tell me what's in it. Group by file type, rough purpose, and all. Don't move anything yet. So I wanted to do that first. So now I'm going to run this. Now, while this runs, what I'm hoping for here is a sanity check. I want Claude to be able to tell me what is actually in this folder before I let it move anything. I don't want to trust it with my files unless it can describe them accurately first. Let's see it bring out the results. I don't want to say that yet. So it's asking me for permission here. There it is. Claude tells me 160 spreadsheet files, 140 presentation files, 130 CSV files, 280 video files, 430 images. So you can imagine the list goes on and on with that. Already, that is more clarity than I have had on that folder in 2 years. And I have moved nothing. So that's just the audit step. If your folder is as huge as mine, Claude might miss some categories on the first pass. So it's important to ask it, is there anything you skipped or weren't sure about? That second prompt always catches the weird stuff. So now I'm not going to ask Claude how to organize the file. I'm going to ask it what makes sense given what is there. So I have another prompt for it. So that's the prompt that I gave Claude, that you should suggest a folder structure that fits how I work. And I gave it context. I told it I'm a business owner and all that kind of stuff. So instead of it just suggesting generic folders for me, it will suggest things that matches my work. So you can see that it has done that. It has broken it down into different things. The client work, the business ops, tax, all those different things is what it has done. So, and then it told us the principle behind what it's doing there. Now it's asking that should it go ahead to create the structure. So you can see that where you haven't even thought to is helping you think towards that. So I'm just going to let it build that structure and move every file into the right folder. But I'm also going to tell it that if it is not sure of where a particular file should stay, it should put it in a folder called review and tell me what's there at the end. It should not delete anything. So let's see it do that. So here is the prompt. Build that folder structure inside download, and then I've told it not to delete anything like I mentioned earlier. So we can see that it's doing the work, it's writing the script, the Python script it needs to do the categorization. That's what it's doing right now. We can see it working on it. So we can see the progress it's making here. That's created the folder structure, it's organizing the file, and then it's going to report on all this. So that's everything it's doing. So if you want to ever know the step-by-step process that Cowork uses to do your task, just look at this top right section and you would find it there. So we can see that all the files have been moved. It's also trying to organize the PDFs, the JSON. I have quite a number of JSON there because I built. Yeah, so it's doing a second pass, covering all those missed files. So this thing can be very comprehensive depending on the instructions you give it. There it is. All my files in these folders. I've moved from over 2,000 things in one place to a structure that I can actually navigate in minutes. It took a while because I had quite a lot of files all around. But what I just mean to say is that instead of you taking it on yourself, Claude can actually do this on your behalf. So the last bit is how to make this permanent. And that's what most of us usually skip. So organizing once is fine, but as you go on, the folder will fill up again. So you need to give Claude another prompt that it should save this folder structure and the rules that you have created as a co-work skill called file sorter. So the next time I drop a file in download, Cowork should suggest the right folder for it based on these rules. That is how Claude has memory of how my files should be organized. So next week, if I decide to dump maybe another 50 files in downloads after a busy week, I open Cowork and say, sort my downloads. It does it in 30 seconds based on the rules we have just set. It doesn't need to do all those arrangements it did from the beginning again. And that's the part that matters because without this step, you would need to redo the whole process every month. And you don't need that. You want to stop that maintenance that you do by yourself and leave it to Claude at this point. So now what did not work there? So I have two things to flag. The first was the review folder. So Claude had over 70 files wrong there. It wasn't really sure about it, and that's normal. I would rather it ask than for it to just guess and put my files in the wrong folder. So I spent some time having to sort that out myself. So two, it doesn't auto delete. So I asked Claude to flag duplicates, but I told it not to delete anything in the instruction I gave it, and that's a deliberate choice. Files getting deleted by AI is the kind of mistakes you cannot undo easily. I'd rather review and delete myself. Yeah. So those are the two things. Yeah. So how do you apply this to your own business? This isn't just about downloads folders anymore. This pattern, audit, process, organize, and save the rule, works for any messy collection of files that you have. So there are different places you can use this. So the first is client folder. So each new client gets the exact same structure automatically. The second is invoices. So every PDF named like an invoice gets sorted by months and tagged for tax reasons. The third are screenshots. So they can be renamed by what actually is in them. Instead of you having screenshot 2005, this one at so 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 time PNG, you have the description being what is inside the screenshot itself. Number four are email attachments. So anything you saved from emails get routed automatically. Then number five, old project folders. So you can archive anything not touched in 90 days. So once you've taught Claude these rules for one folder, you can teach it the same rules for the next one in 5 minutes. The first one is usually the hardest, but from then you just keep on going. So if this clicked for you, Thursday, May 7th, I am running a live Claude Masterclass. 90 minutes. We will build 3 working systems live. You walk away with them on your laptop and they start working immediately, even from the session. So join us using the link in the description. That is it for me today. If you've got a folder that has been haunting you for a year, open Cowork, point it at that folder, run those prompts that I did, and tell me how it goes in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.